Hi everyone, I'm Jenny and welcome to Jenny Business Review. Today I'll be analyzing Delta Airlines and some of the business threats it faces using Porter's Five Forces model. So, as we know, Delta is one of the major U.S. airlines. It is part of the Big Three, along with United and American. They operate both domestic and international flights and are a leader in the commercial airline industry. But like most airlines, Delta is in a very competitive and sensitive business environment. Today, we're going to take a look at three of the forces that create threats for Delta. So, first, we're going to start with industry rivalry. Competition in the airline industry is fierce. As we know, Delta is constantly battling with United, American, and Southwest, plus international carriers for routes and passengers. For example, on the busy New York to Los Angeles route, rival airlines often match or undercut Delta's fares, and this creates price wars that cut into profits and make it difficult for Delta to stand out without slashing ticket prices. As someone who lives in Atlanta, the hub of airlines, I definitely see the price differences. And although Delta has its upper hand in having its own um, section of the airport, there's definitely that competitive advantage of other airlines when it comes to pricing. Second, we're going to talk about the bargaining power of suppliers. Delta relies heavily on suppliers like Boeing and Airbus for aircraft, oil companies for jet fuel, and unions for labor. These are all powerful groups, and jet fuel alone can make up about a quarter of an airline's operating costs. And when prices spike, Delta's profits take a hit. On top of that, unions like the pilots union have leverage to push for higher pay for contracts, which adds even more cost pressure. Finally, we're going to talk about the threat of substitutes. This is especially important after COVID 19. Businesses used to spend big money on corporate travel, but many companies have now pivoted and rely on video conferencing tools like Zoom or Microsoft Teams instead of flying employees across the country. That shift is a real threat to Delta because travelers usually buy the most expensive tickets and are a huge part of revenue. If that demand never fully comes back, it hurts Delta's long term profitability, as though it helps the companies who are now able to shift onto a digital meeting platform. It affects the airlines that relied on those profits. In summary, Delta faces strong competition from rivals, rising costs from suppliers, and the growing risk of substitutes like video conferencing. And these threats just show how challenging it is to operate in the airline industry and why Delta has to constantly adapt to stay profitable and innovate in new ways we haven't seen. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this gave you new insights into Porter's Five Forces and how it applies to the companies we all know and love. And I hope you found whatever inspiration or information you needed today. Thank you.